Hi everyone, welcome to the Web API series. This series is designed to give you everything you need to know about Web APIs to be successful in your development career. Here is how the videos in this series are structured. In the first part, I'll walk you through the core concepts. In the second part, we'll dive into practical work, like debugging code together or adding comments. I highly recommend watching the explanation part because it will directly impact how you approach the code in the second part. However, if you're already familiar with the topic, feel free to skip ahead to the second part. All the timestamps are in the description below. Also in the description, you will find a link to the previous video in the series. You will also find a link to the entire playlist if you'd like to catch up. If you'd like to follow along, please go ahead and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. We're currently just under 1,000 subscribers, and my goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you so much for your support, and I really appreciate it. Now, enjoy the video. Hi everyone, today we'll focus on setting attributes. Alright, let's jump in. Here we have a simple HTML document. Inside the body, there are two child elements. Within the section, we've got a few more tags. An anchor tag, a div, a p tag, another div, and one more p tag. So it's a pretty simple web page, nothing fancy. The title is Changing JS Attributes, and we use the .setAttribute method to change attributes of elements on our page. We can change any element just by grabbing it via the DOM. The DOM is the document object model, right? And we talked about this in the previous video. We use querySelectorAll to select multiple elements at the same time. We can also grab elements using the ID. In the previous video, we talked about querySelector, and this time we're going to introduce querySelectorAll. And we also talked about getElementById. So some of the concepts we talked about in the previous video, you might want to go back and visit that video if you are unsure of some of these concepts. Okay, so this is the JS code. In the very top over here, we're accessing multiple elements using .querySelectorAll. We have div tags. So this is all the divs inside of our HTML document. And as we discussed just a second ago, there are two div tags and p tags. There are two as well, right? So this will hold all the p tags and all the div tags. And I'm going to show you that in the console here by console logging div tags. Okay. So our div tags here, we have div and another div with a ID or a class of a class of change1, right? We know that it's a class because of the dot equals class and hashtag equals, you guessed it, ID. So yeah, here we go. It's printing all of them, so we could actually iterate through this, which is really cool because it holds it all in a object. So that's pretty cool. So moving on now, access element by ID using querySelector. Right. So we talked about this in the last video, but we can use document.querySelector and then the hashtag to reference an ID, and we can save that element inside of a variable. Pretty cool. So we got the changeP variable over here, and we used the querySelector to do that. If you want, we can print this, and you'll see here, just to make sure that it is that we got the ID correct. You know, it's good to just sometimes log it and see if it's good. Oh yeah, it is right here. So you can see p hashtag change2. It's a p tag. All right. So because it's an object and you know indexing, how indexing works, to set the first p tag to have a font size of 40 pixels, we can use the setAttribute method to add or update an element's attributes. For example, if we want to change the size of the paragraph's text, we can reference the p tag variable, and then we'll reference which index we want to change, and then the dot set attribute, because we want to change the first p tag that's in the HTML document. We're going to do the 0th index, and then we want to reference that we're changing the style, and then which style we're changing, which is the font size, to 40 pixels. This sets the paragraph's inline style directly. In this case, changing the font size to 40 pixels. For those of you who've watched the previous video in the series on DOM traversal, we talk about the style property and how we can manipulate elements inside the HTML using this property. They both achieve the same thing, but they're both very different, and I'll explain what the difference is. The first one, this replaces an entire style attribute of the element. If the element already had inline styles like color red, so those are all going to be overwritten unless you include them in the string. For example, if you do p style color red, right? And if we add this style over here where it's red, where it's red, and we go over here, take this off, and here you can see that it is red right now, right? But because we use the set attribute, the red is actually going to be overwritten. So it is ignored because unless we add color as red, like so, and this is how we would have to set the attribute. Right, so if the element already has inline styles like that color red, those are overwritten unless you include them in the string. So using the style property, so this will only change that specific CSS property, like font size. If you already had, so for example, I'll show you here. So we already have the p style red over here, and because we're just using the font size property, it will still remain red because we're only changing the font size, right? All right. Hope that makes sense to everybody. Next, if you look to line 21, we can add multiple style attributes to a element, and we're doing this by and this is the format for that. So here we're changing the font size, the font weight, and the text decoration, which is an underline, and this is for p change. So if we go here and go live, so p change is the very last element. So we have, right, so we have the text decoration, the bold, and then we could also do something else like color if we wanted to, and let's make it red. So remembering here that the syntax for this, to have the styles identifier in a string and followed by a comma, and then you add all the CSS styling that you would like, such as font size, font weight, bold, color, and all these styles go into one string. So it would be the attribute followed by a semicolon, or sorry, a colon, and then the value. And this should update, and now it's red. And we're doing this by grabbing the ID. I personally like using the ID, but there's also a use case for the query selector, which we'll get into in a second here. So you can use the set attribute to also add images. So we're going to do the source, then the path of the image. Also, because our image variable right now holds every image inside of the HTML document, you'll have to identify the index of the image element that you would like to target. And the syntax for that is exactly the same as we've just discussed previously. So now in the HTML document, we have a second image, right? And we can simply just change this to a 1. source, we just change the name to what we just named it, which is astro.png. And this should add the image. So let's go ahead and open the HTML file. Ta-da, here it is. And now we just have to add the styling to it, the inline styling. And there we go. And it's just as easy as that. And there's a lot of use cases for this. You can imagine adding a button, and if they click the button, then, you know, or like, let's say if someone wins a game, then we would have an image appear, like a U1 image. There's so many use cases for this. Okay, moving on to line 34 here. It's a for loop. And it's just a simple for loop that's going to iterate through all the div tags in our I'm gonna comment these out real quick. So it's gonna iterate through all the div tags in our on our file or in our HTML, right? And it's gonna set the attribute, all of them, to blue, and font size to 30 pixels. Let's see if it does it. And it does. See how good that is? So it's changing all of it to blue. We can also do here just to show you that it's iterating through, and it's very simple here. We could do it for the p tags too. So I'll show you a p tag example. So far, var I equals 0. I is greater than p tags dot length. Then we want to iterate I plus plus. Okay, and now we're gonna do p tags I dot set attribute. I'm gonna do style, and it just depends on what we want right now. We could do color. Let's do gray. And let's just do color gray. That's fine. And as you can see, it has overwritten all of the old styles as well, because in JavaScript it's going to be the whichever the most recent is, like meaning further down, because it's going to be top down. So it's only going to take what is lowered, what is on the lower, and so line 40 is going to override line 22. Unless we add it into our string over here, which we can do. And now look, the only thing that we didn't do was add the color that was red, but that's fine. So this is iterating through all of the p tags. Okay, and that's everything for this video. I'll be posting the practical work in a separate video, and you can find a link to that in the description below. There's also links to a few sources that everyone might find useful, and down below. I just want to thank everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.